live action camera, the story of how to treat children when they're in trouble.
Absolutely, Jerry. Children who are abused or neglected at home now have a new place to go for help. It's called a children's home in the city of Orange, just opened today, right next door to the old home. Because of overcrowding, they found it necessary to open another building, and our Laura Diaz is there right now with a live report on how things are going. Laura.
Larry, that's right. What you are looking at right now is the Orangewood Children's Home. It is, of course, the $7.5 million project that was dedicated yesterday. Hundreds of people showed up for that dedication. And the kids are starting to move in today. A little bit earlier, they were carrying over their worldly possessions in little boxes. These are, of course, very special children. They are children who've been abandoned, abused, and neglected here in Orange County. And this project is one that is really being hailed here. People are very proud of it because it meant that private organizations had to come forth. It meant that corporations had to come forth. People with just a few dollars came forth, and governments to make this project happen. And joining us right now is one of the people who's been right behind this all the way, Bill Steiner. Bill, can you tell us what exactly this will mean for the kids, the 100 kids who'll be staying here in the next couple of days?
Well, I think that Orangewood's going to show them that there's a better side to their life than what they've experienced. And it's a beautiful facility, as you can see. It's not institutional, and much more space than we've had. We've been terribly overcrowded, and this has got a lot of space for us. I think it's really going to improve the quality of their life. We're very proud of it.
As the director of Sit-in Home, of course, you knew the problems that were directly facing you at the other home. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What kind of a dilemma that's been for you in recent years?
Well, you know, child abuse has just become epidemic all across the country and here in Orange County also. And so we've had over 2,000 children a year come into this shelter, from babies to teenagers, and more than we could accommodate in a facility more than 25 years old. So this is the public response, a partnership, to build a new shelter in this county. And a few years ago, people said it couldn't be done. It's a reality today.
How about the kids? How are they helping in the moving?
Well, they're very excited, carrying in their belongings. I was just told that the heaters are on and we're ready to sleep here tonight. There'll be 40 children moving into 2 cottages, then 40 tomorrow and 20 on Friday. So 100 children will be here by Friday.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Steiner. This is only phase 1 of this new building. There are phase 2 and phase 3 coming up, so that they're saying by next spring, about a year from now, that more kids will be able to live here, and that, of course, is very important because abuse and sexual abuse, too, is going up, or at least the cases reported are going up, and so kids do need a place to stay. And I might add that, you know, we cover a lot of stories sometimes that make you feel badly. This is one that makes you feel happy inside. I'm Laura Diaz reporting live from Orange for Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Beautiful evening to an exciting day there. New beginning at Orangewood Children's Home. Thanks very much indeed. Christine.
I think it's a good point that the community should be proud of having done that and having done it privately.
No question
When government
about
won't
that.
do it,
Outstanding.
private needs
Outstanding.
to and needs to anyway. Frustrating thing is we need more of many of those good facilities like that.
We're at the dedication ceremonies for Orangewood, and we're going to tell you about Orangewood and what it means. First, we're going to talk to Jim Guilleran. Jim is chairman of the Orangewood Construction Committee, and he headed up a group of builders who volunteered their efforts. How did this all come about, Jim?
Well, it came out about 3 years ago when the Board of Supervisors recognized that there was a desperate need to rebuild the Albert Sitten home, and they had no funds available to do that. So they decided to embark upon something that all of us have found very exciting, a concept of a public-private partnership with the county and all of the cities of Orange County putting up about 26% of the money, and the rest of it being raised from private sources.
Well, now, you actually are an executive of Mission Viejo Company.
Yes, I'm
and
president of the California division of the Mission Viejo Company.
And so, as a result, you're a very experienced builder.
Yes.
You've contributed a lot. You got a lot of people to contribute. What happened? What did they do?
Well, what we did was to put together a team of people that was capable of building this project at the lowest possible cost. And so I gathered a team of experts, some from within our own company, and some from the outside, like the Elliott Group. And that team was able to bring this project, at least the first phase of it, which you see here, in on time and substantially under budget. My main man was Steve Trammell, who's vice president in charge of construction for our company. And he's absolutely fantastic in putting together projects like this and making them happen.
Now, what you've created here, instead of kind of the, frankly, jail-like atmosphere of Albert Sitten Home, you've created a kind of an array of cottages.
Well, Bill Lyon, who is the chairman of the Orangewood board and who started the whole ball rolling by donating $1 million up front, which set a very high standard for the fundraising committee and everybody else to live up with, made it very clear at our first meeting that Orangewood was to be different. It was to set a standard that possibly could be used as an example across the United States of care and concern. What you have to remember is these children in this facility are not here because they've done something. They're here because something has been done to them, and that makes them different. So the concept was that when they come here, they should feel as little dislocation as possible from the home environment. And so the whole project was designed to look like a home.
Now, some of the homes, if we could call them that, are for girls, some are for boys, some are for teenagers. Who came up with those concepts?
Well, Bill Steiner is the director of the Albert Sitton Home. And all of the concepts for how the cottages would be arranged, what facilities would be in them, how the boys and girls would be separated, it was all designed by Bill Steiner. And Bill is a marvelous man. He's been running the Albert Sitton Home for 5 or 6 years. He's an absolute treasure. He's an extraordinary public servant that made everybody else on the team want to donate their time and effort the same way that he does.
The President of the United States, the Governor, and former Lieutenant Governor Mike Curb all have given their commendation and their blessing to this project. Mike Curb was here today.
Yes, President Reagan has given us a special certificate of commendation. And the reason was very interesting because, although we did not know it at the time, he has a commission on public-private partnerships, which he started about 3 years ago, and apparently this project and the team and the people that put it together are exactly what he had in mind, so he's using it as an example of what can be done.
Do you see future projects like this, private industry, the private sector, getting together with government to solve problems?
I think they're very difficult to put together because it's very difficult to do the same kind of thing repetitively. You had a spirit building here that just caught hold of a lot of people, and of course the cause in terms of finding a better way to take care of these children is hard to match. But certainly it could be done in other areas. I don't think the same thing or something like it could be done in this county.
The spirit of the people involved, the Bill Lyons, the kind of kingpins of Orange County industry that were involved, what was it like to be on the same board with them?
Well, of course, I'd known most of them either directly or indirectly from before, but they filled me with a personal enthusiasm that I found spilling over to the people I work with, too.
The Mission Viejo Company is a very large company. How did they feel about your taking your time and your efforts and contributing to this project?
Well, it's part of what we do. The chairman of, as you know, we're a subsidiary of Philip Morris Incorporated. And the chairman, George Weissman, had a motto that really directs everything that we do, and that is that our business activities must make social sense, and our social activities make business sense. We like to view ourselves as part of the community, good corporate citizens. We think it pays, and it always has for Philip Morris, and that's why we do what we do. We're very heavily involved in the community and the county.
This project here is a long way from completion, is it not?
This is the first phase of 3 phases, and we started this one by itself because we had enough money to get started. Kathryn Thompson has been outstanding in raising the necessary funds, and we're delighted to announce today that we're going to start phases 2 and 3 simultaneously, and I expect to be finished a little over a year and a quarter from now with the whole project.
How many children will it be able to handle once it's finished?
This can handle over 130 children in spacious accommodations compared to what they had before, and with some changes, with some doubling up and making additions, we've built in room for expansion. We can probably go more than twice that. In general, it's designed to be able to handle the needs of this county through their ultimate population build-out.
Will there be schools here?
Yes. The schools is in the second phase, and it's right over there behind you.
Mr. Guilleran, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. It's nice to have been here.
We're going to be right back right after this. Dedication ceremonies of Orangewood in Orange. We're going to talk to the man who kind of put it all together. We've got the government and the private sectors involved, General William Lyon. And we're also going to talk with Kathryn Thompson. She was chairman of the Orangewood Leadership Council. Welcome to Orange County today. General, how did you get all of these people together?
Well, it started a couple of years ago, and they formed what was known as the Blue Ribbon Commission, and a group of business people and people in government were asked to join and discuss the potential of having a new home for dependent children organized for the private and public sector. and that's how I got involved in it, and it kind of evolved from there over the last couple of years, and we went from there into a fundraising program.
This day must be very important to you because it kind of culminates all of your efforts and all of your work of getting these people together.
Well, it's an exciting day, I think, for all of us, and particularly for Kathryn and myself, because we've been so involved in this project.
Ms. Thompson, you, I guess, headed up the volunteer groups.
Yes, I did.
And these were the people who raised the money to get the project completed.
That's right, but it's been a joint effort. Everyone has worked very, very hard on it, and we're so pleased today to see our dream come true.
What was the toughest part of the project?
I believe the toughest part was selling the people on a new concept of the public-private sector joint venture. And once we overcame that, and once people were able to go through the facility, the Albert Sitton home, and see the need, the children really hooked them. And after that, it was just asking for the donation.
You and General Lyon are both developers, I believe, and you're kind of used to putting big projects together. Was this well, I don't want to say easy, but was this similar to any other building project for you, General and Mr. Thompson?
Well, there were a lot of similarities in that we had construction documents and architectural plans and the construction itself. The difference was that you were asking for donations for something that you really weren't going to see a monetary return. It was something that you were going to feel good about when you go by and see it being used for these helpless victims.
Did you have to worry about a bottom line in developing this project?
We had to stay within budget, of course. We have a $7.5 million goal, and we had to keep it within budget. It had to be built on time in order to do that.
General Lyon, what do you feel is the most important part of the whole achievement here?
Well, I think from the start that those of us that got together and have worked this project wanted this project in particular because of this need in the county to look like and actually be a home for these children. And I think you can see from the architecture and from the construction and the materials specifications that went into this project, that's exactly what has come out of it. We didn't want it, any of us, to institutionalize these children or to have it look like a box. It is a home. It's beautifully done, and it's a place that these children can come. And these children, and much of that is not understood by the public, that these children are victims. They're not criminals. They're brought here, and the trauma of coming to this situation is important to understand. And so we all felt and have achieved that, I think, in what you see here today, to build this as a home for these children.
Now, Albert Sitton Home is kind of a jail-like facility. It has lots of security because a lot of people try to get those kids out when they're taken into protective custody to keep them from testifying against them and things like that. Did you have to take that into consideration?
Well, those are considerations in the plan and development of this, and we worked very closely in the design with Bill Steiner, the administrator of the Albert Sitton Home, and will be of Orangewood, in meeting those requirements, and I think we've done that here.
Ms. Thompson, who are some of the people who really give you a helping hand?
Of course, General Lyon started the campaign with his $1 million challenge to the board, to the leadership board. Also, the Newport Junior League started a $117,000 challenge grant. Harry G. Steele Foundation gave us $1 million with a challenge grant. Just to name a few, the board of directors matched General Lyon's $1 million with $1 million. So we had some pretty big gifts early on in the campaign, which really made it successful.
Well, I understand it was General Lyon's original $1 million gift that got the whole thing going. Is that right?
Well, actually, it started with $117,000 from the Newport Harbor Junior League, and then when the board was formed, it was his gift, which was the first gift after the board was formed.
You've had some very prominent people from throughout Orange County on your committee. Did they really get out and work?
Yes, they did. Everyone has pulled together and worked very diligently to ask for the donation and really make the public aware of what's going on here.
Well, let's give you a feeling of real achievement, General Lyon. I mean, you've built so many projects. You're building whole cities. Does this give you a special feeling of achievement?
None has meant more to me than this project because it was, as Kathryn described to you, it was a new concept. It had never been done, certainly in this county. And we had to overcome a lot of hurdles. We worked very closely with the Board of Supervisors, who have been extremely supportive of this this project and the whole staff in the county. But it was new to people, and it had never been done before. And personally, I couldn't feel more excited and more fulfilled to see this thing really here today, and all of us be here to share in this great day.
Well, congratulations to both of you. It's a great day for both of you, I know. And thank you very much for being our guest in Orange County today.
Thank you.